That's why I tell my crew, say, this is my birthday. I don't want to celebrate them anywhere. I want to celebrate them with you people. And you see the people I see here today, I swear, if the government of Ghana no protect Shatta Wale, me and you people go protect one ourselves for this country. Forget it.
Yeah, just let me know when the thing ready. Alright, yeah. I love that.
Shout out to my
Undoubtedly, Shatta Wale is one of the smartest artists in the game. He knows exactly when to play the political card and when to stay non-political. And honestly, that deserves some respect. But do you know there's a deeper reason behind organizing ShattaFest at the Independence Square? Yes, Wicked Blogger Ghana can confidently tell you that Shatta Wale's ShattaFest was more than just a concert. It was a smart move to protect himself from possible extradition. Reports reaching us indicate that the Economic and Organized Crime Office, under the request of the FBI, has been looking into certain matters involving Shatta Wale, including the flashy yellow Lamborghini and other alleged financial activities. But with this move, Shatta Wale might have just outplayed the system. Let's break it down. Choosing the Independence Square wasn't simply about giving fans easy access because of its central location in Accra. Nor was it just about managing a large crowd. The real reason runs deeper. The Independence Square sits close to the State House and Parliament, the very heart of Ghana's political power. Holding his event there was a strategic signal. It was a way of saying, I run the streets, and I can pull the biggest crowd right at your doorstep. Politicians know that kind of influence matters, especially when elections draw near. So naturally, they'd prefer to stay on his good side. By shaking the grounds near the seat of power, Shatta Wale reminded them that the street belongs to him, and they'd be wise to protect their people's man. That's pure genius. But that's not all. Before the event, Shatta Wale appeared on a major TV platform where he publicly praised Raymond, the EOCO boss. He described him as a hardworking and honorable man. Now, that might sound innocent to most, but anyone who has read the 48 Laws of Power knows exactly what that was a calculated move. Shatta Wale was applying one of Robert Greene's laws. Make your superior feel comfortably powerful. By flattering Raymond in public, he made himself look harmless and respectful while subtly building goodwill. A psychological chess, and Wale played it right. So with this setup, ShattaFest, near the State House, the public praises, and the massive crowd power, it's clear that Shatta Wale is playing his cards smart. Wicked Blogger Ghana and the entire team can boldly say, Shatta Wale might just walk away clean from whatever EOCO case is being pushed by the FBI. Smart move, King. Very smart move. When the story of Shatta Wale and EOCO first broke, most Ghanaians thought it was just another celebrity drama. One of those stories that trend for a week and fade away. But what many didn't know was that this was far bigger than music, showbiz, or social media noise. It was a case that connected a flashy yellow Lamborghini, international fraud money US, investigators, and a street-smart artist who knows how to turn a crisis into an advantage. This is how it all started, and how Shatta Wale played the game so well that he still stands tall in the middle of the storm. For years, Shatta Wale has been known as Ghana's street king. He flaunts wealth, speaks his mind, and never misses a chance to remind his critics that he worked hard for every luxury he owns. So, when he introduced a yellow Lamborghini Urus into his collection, fans saw it as another victory for the Shatta movement. He called it his street ride, loud, bold, and fast, just like his personality. But behind the excitement, that same Lamborghini would later become the centerpiece of an investigation that stretched from Accra to the United States. According to insiders, the car was flagged by authorities after international investigators traced its ownership trail back to a man named Nana Kwabena Amua, a Ghanaian American who had already been convicted in the US for money laundering and wire fraud, US. Investigators believe that part of the funds from Amua's criminal operations had been used to purchase luxury vehicles, one of which somehow made its way to Ghana straight into the hands of Shatta Wale. EOCO, Ghana's Economic and Organized Crime Office, got the alert through official cooperation channels with the FBI and US Justice Department. Their Asset Recovery Task Force moved fast, visiting Shatta Wale's residence in Trasaco Valley to inspect the car. Within hours, the Lamborghini was seized, pending investigation. That's when the drama began. After the seizure, Shatta Wale was invited to EOCO headquarters for questioning. He showed up looking calm, even cheerful, with his usual confidence and street charm. Cameras followed his every move. For his fans, this wasn't a criminal investigation, it was another Shatta show. Inside EOCO, however, things were serious. Officers wanted to know where the car came from, who sold it, how it was paid for, and whether he knew it was linked to a fraud case abroad. When they asked for documents, Shatta reportedly presented incomplete papers, nothing that could fully prove legal ownership or importation. When asked about the seller, he mentioned that he bought the Lamborghini for $150,000 from a man called Zach, whom he met through WhatsApp. He added that Zach was no longer reachable. For investigators, that sounded suspicious. Who buys a Lamborghini through WhatsApp with no traceable seller and no verified documents? But if you understand how street deals work in Accra, you know this wasn't entirely impossible. The car scene is full of middlemen, gray market, imports, and quick connects. Still, when an FBI-linked case is involved, things are handled differently. EOCO detained Shatta Wale briefly for further questioning, sparking immediate reactions across social media. His fans flooded the internet with hashtags like #FreeShattaWale and #EOCOHands off SMKin. To the public, this was not a fraud issue, it was their idol being targeted. Behind the scenes, the story was tied to a bigger criminal investigation. Nana Kwabena Amua, the man linked to the car, had already faced prosecution in the US for defrauding multiple companies in a complex wire fraud scheme that ran into millions of dollars. He reportedly used fake business accounts to trick investors and laundered the money through luxury cars, real estate, and offshore accounts. One of those cars was the yellow Lamborghini Urus. When US authorities froze Amua's assets, they traced the vehicles he purchased, and one was found registered in Ghana. That led them to EOCO. From the US perspective, the car was part of a criminal asset network. From Shatta Wale's side, it was simply a flashy toy he bought with his own money, not knowing where it came from. The clash between these two realities is what created the current standoff. When news of the seizure hit social media, Ghana went wild. Some called it a witch hunt. Others saw it as justice finally catching up with celebrities who flaunt wealth without explanation. But the Shatta movement was not having any of it. Within 24 hours, fans gathered outside EOCO's office in protest, chanting and holding placards demanding his release. For many young people, Shatta Wale represents their voice raw, unfiltered, and fearless. He has always positioned himself as the people's artist, a man from the streets who made it without political help or industry favors. So, any attack on him feels personal to his followers. EOCO officials were reportedly surprised by the size and intensity of the protest. It showed that arresting Shatta Wale was not just a legal matter, it was a political and social one too. This man had the power to pull crowds instantly, a kind of influence politicians can't ignore. After being granted bail of 10 million cedis with 2 sureties, Shatta Wale came out swinging. He told the media that he had done nothing wrong and that the whole case was a misunderstanding. He claimed EOCO was overreacting and that he bought the car in good faith. He also dropped a statement saying his arrest was God-ordained, a way to educate the youth about being careful when buying luxury cars. It was a smart narrative move. By turning his case into a public lesson, he shifted focus from guilt to wisdom. But behind his calm tone, Shatta Wale was planning his next big move, one that would remind everyone, especially EOCO and politicians, that he's not a man to be cornered easily. That move was ShattaFest.